in response to some help requests I've gotten for part 1 of the project, I decided to make another example for you guys to follow through with me, and I've constructed it more from the point of view that you have. That is, that you've been given a mystery polynomial and the points, and you have to figure out what it is. So, if I am hiding from you, my partner, a 6th order polynomial, that polynomial could have 7 coefficients, right? Look at here. You see A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's 7. And so in order to figure this out, you're going to have to give me 7 ordered pairs, or pairs of points x and y. And that's what you see here. Alright, so on this line here, all I'm doing is plugging in my first x value, -3, and my first y value, 1112. And I can rewrite that like this, and it's the same. I've just evaluated all those powers. And then on these lines here, I'm doing exactly the same thing, but for all my other points. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So each of these lines here corresponds to one of these ordered pairs of points here. Just as another example, this line here corresponds to the point 2, 17 here. Now notice what happens with the coefficients. The coefficients of this line are the powers of 2. The coefficients of this line are the powers of -2. And each of these lines, that's true for each of these lines, their coefficients are the powers of whatever the x value is. Okay, you see how for the negative ones, the sign switches from positive to negative, and for the positive ones, it doesn't. Right, now up here, I've made the crazy matrix equation that corresponds to this set of equations. Right, see if you can figure this out. Right, all of these numbers on the left, sorry about the airplane in the background, all these numbers on the left go in this matrix. This crazy square matrix here is a 7 by 7 matrix that's filled with these coefficients. Okay? See if you can figure out how each of these lines corresponds to each of these equations. And then this matrix here is just my unknowns, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay, so this matrix equation should hold the same information as this set of 7 equations here. So if we solve this matrix equation, we should be able to solve for the same information as if we were solving this system of 7 equations. That is, we can find A through G. Right, well, the strategy, as you know, is to invert x, this big crazy square matrix, and multiply both sides by x inverse. On the right side, as you can see here, x inverse times x turns into I, the identity matrix. And that doesn't do anything. It preserves the identity of A. And so A, the thing we're looking for, the matrix of coefficients A through G, is just x inverse times y. Alright, well I do that on my calculator, and it takes a while for the calculator to figure this out. And it gives me this. And this looks fine except for this one value here. -1.1 times e to the -12. That's -1.1 times 10 to the -12. Well, that's the calculator's way of saying 0 in this situation. The calculator, when inverting this matrix, has done a phenomenal amount of work. It's made a few small rounding errors that have accumulated to something that's slightly wrong. Okay, so it should be a 0. It's not, but it should be. So if you see something like that, that's really close to an integer but not quite, then you should probably round it to the nearest integer and assume that your calculator has made some small mistakes in its calculations. Alright, so we have our coefficients, 1, -2, 0, 3, -2, 1, and -1. And so we've uncovered the mystery polynomial. It must be y equals x to the 6th minus 2x to the 5th plus 3x to the 3rd minus 2x squared plus x minus 1. And that is exactly what I had in mind. Alright, I hope this helps. Now, you have to be careful not to make any mistakes. You have to be careful that each y value corresponds to the correct row here in the matrix, and that the signs are correct, and that this is not a 0, and that all of these are 1s. There are a lot of things that you have to get right, and if one of them goes wrong, then this isn't going to work. So if you are making mistakes and it's not working, send me an email with the details and I'll try to help.